to From the Couch with your host, CoRy Wyszynski. This week's guest, Aliza Pearl. No, don't go back to sleep, CoRy. It's time to do the show.
Thank you, Arlo Sanders. I am your host, CoRy Wyszynski, coming to you from the couch. And there you have it. That's it. We're done. All right. Thank you so much, guys. No, I'm kidding. But it has been a while since I've done a show like this, and it's a lot. This is a kind of a sentimental week for me. For all those who don't know me, my name is CoRy. I'm an actor, improviser, storyteller, writer. And last year, around this time in 2020, I was hospitalized for unknown circumstances. It's been about 4 days in the hospital, but then it was like 8 different doctors to find out what I have. And the neck collar's not for show. I need it, or else you would not hear me. And you'll see me without the collar. I won't always have it on because I can't. But yeah, this is a late night show. I got really into late night. I've been a fan with Conan O'Brien, specifically. He's probably my late night fave of the hosts. And I've seen him like 6 different times. And I've always wanted to do this kind of style of show. But I can't really leave the house because I don't know where I am relative to space and I fall. So this is going to be, guests are going to come by. I'm going to talk to people. Sometimes topics might involve being artistic or mental health. Doctor horror stories. Really, anything is possible. Didn't really set up a call-in, but yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. Put on the biggest headphones that ever existed. And hello, you are calling from the couch. Welcome.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
I am a long-time listener, first-time caller.
That's strange.
And
It's not,
I
don't know what that means.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
This is very exciting.
Yeah,
you know, but I'm gonna just kind of bring you down back to reality. You are very sick.
Hey.
Ill.
Oh,
Is what I
happy
would say.
Disability
And
Pride Month, by the way.
I know. Oh, happy Disability Pride Month indeed. And
Yes.
I don't think
There's
you've
something
really thought
here.
about how much this is going to take to do this show.
You sound very familiar.
That's funny. I don't hear a resemblance at all.
Wait a minute. I know who this is.
No, we've never
I
met.
know who
That's
this
not,
is.
That's not true. It even says mystery caller.
It's my anxiety.
Oh, damn it.
No, show yourself.
CoRy, I don't know if we can
Yes.
do this. Really
Oh, my
think about
God.
this. There's a lot. Editing, marketing.
I know. Yep.
Oh, my God.
Oh, what was that?
Well, that just means that my download failed, so more work for us to do. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Well, can you at least fix the fact that it says crippling anxiety?
Sure, I'll
I
fix
mean,
it.
that's, in the parlance of our times, that's probably
That
not
better?
the choice
Yeah,
word.
probably insensitive.
Okay. Hey, how'd you do that so quick?
Oh, I don't know. Magic.
Okay, this
no,
call's
hang
over.
up.
Bye. Whew. Emotional stress. It's real. Earlier this week, I sat down with Aliza Pearl. Aliza is a writer, director, improviser, actor. She is a sci-fi aficionado, and she is also a master of the tabletop role-playing genre. So I will let's check it out. Let's check out the interview with Aliza Pearl. Hi, Aliza. Welcome to From the Couch. You are my first guest, so thank you for that.
Hey.
Yes. Well, you have just recently finished up a brand new show that you directed called Slay with your all-female improv troupe, Ripley, that you're a member of. And this was your first direction while dealing with like a virtual setting. Is that correct?
Yeah. I guess you could say that. Yes.
For Ripley at least, right?
Oh yes, for
Yes.
Ripley.
Tell me how Slay became the idea and how it went from there.
Well, I've had the idea to do a Monster Slayer type of show for years, and I'm a huge Buffy fan and a fan of Angel. Also, a huge fan of Hellboy and the BPRD, that whole universe.
Mm-hmm.
I also started watching Demon Slayer recently, like before the show.
Right.
And so, yeah, I've always loved, I'm not like a blanket horror fan. I don't love horror for the sake of horror. I like specific forms of horror and how horror stories are told. And I've always loved monster slaying specifically. So about maybe 4 years ago, I mentioned to Ripley, like, oh man, it would be really cool to do like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer type show where we all play different Slayers that have been awakened. And some of us are like Midwestern housewives. Some of us are truck drivers. Some of us are school teachers. Like just have it be everyday women who are also monster slayers, vampire slayers. And that idea kind of sat for a while because I was busy with other projects. I was working full time at the time. I couldn't really add anything else to my schedule, but I always had that in the back of my mind. And then fast forward to 2020, Jessica Lynn Verdi was the first Ripley to say, hey, we're in a pandemic. I want to do my idea as an online show now. Who's with me? And so we were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's try it. And she paired up with Mary Chipo and they co-produced Heartbeats, which is our improvised medical drama on Ripley. And that was our first fully digital improvised show on Ripley last year. And so while Heartbeats was going on, I was a cast member of that. I really enjoyed the process. I really liked doing shows online. I was kind of primed for it because I've been doing TTRPGs online for several years now. And so I was like, oh, this is actually kind of like, it feels good for me to, number one, be able to do shows from my home in this digital format. And also it feels good to be able to like send a link to people anywhere in the world with any level of mobility or accessibility who can watch a show that I'm in.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I was doing shows in theaters that I myself was having trouble going up the stairs, or like I knew that my friends who are wheelchair users would have a lot of difficulty coming to my shows, and it always bugged me.
Right.
So finally, I was doing full improvised shows in a digital format that just you need internet and the click of a link to get to. And that felt really good to me. So I was like, towards the end of Heartbeats, I was like, maybe I am in a place now where I could direct my Ripley show. And I started to look at that idea again, the Vampire Slayer idea. And a couple of things had changed for me between that idea inception and now. One thing that had changed is that I realized that it's kind of like a losing game to do a show, an improv show based on someone else's IP. I've done the Improvised Generation for years, and that was another that I co-directed and co-produced. And we did a digital version of that, and we still do it.
Right.
But we always have tried to figure out how to financially support that show without running afoul of CBS and Paramount. And literally, there doesn't seem to be a way to do it that we've figured out anyway, without completely moving away from just like doing only Star Trek improvised, because it's their IP and we're not trying to like steal their IP. We're just playing in their sandbox.
Right.
But it's really easy for them to look at what we do and say, that's our IP, stop doing it. Especially where like, if they think we're making any amount of money, even if it's just money to like pay artists for things and not to pay ourselves. So yeah, I just have felt like in this kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I love doing improvised Star Trek, but I also am a professional creative, and it just gets really hard to always do something without having any way of financially supporting what you're doing. And so with that in the back of my head, I was like, well, if we do a Buffy show, I don't want it to be Buffy IP. I don't want it to be like, especially now with all the, the past few years, Joss Whedon, so much news has come out about him and his behaviors on set and how he treated the women in his lives and people on set. I was like, yeah, I'm still a fan of Buffy, but I don't want to like, I don't want to like put a stake in the ground and say, this is a Buffy improv show, for many reasons. Keeping that like core idea. And then it became, okay, people are still, instead of just vampire slayers, they're monster slayers. And I still like the like quotidian idea of these are just everyday ladies who have different lives, but they moonlight as monster slayers. I was like, okay, cool. And then bringing in the BPRD and Hellboy references, I added in the element of there being a government agency that they work for, and it's kind of clandestine. And then from there, the idea just kind of filled out itself. Like it just kind of added to it. And so that's how Say was born.
I love too how Dorm became like its own entity. It became its own social media profile, which is the Department of Occult Risk Management for all those paying attention at home. During the pandemic, there was a project that you were working on that dealt a little more with what living with chronic illness is. And if you want to talk a little bit about that, I'd love to hear more just on what it meant to put yourself out there in that way, where you are not a character, an improviser. You are Aliza, who is just trying to get by day by day.
Yeah, honestly, when my friend approached me about being in it, I hesitated because of that. Because yeah, I'm an actor, I'm an improviser, and I do post on social media about my illness, and sometimes more often than not, like I will post about it, but then I'll move on and post about other things that I'm doing.
Right.
So I still, as open as I've been about it on social media, I still do have a sense of privacy when it comes to my illness and how I move through it. So when my friend Jessica Funches told me she was making this movie at first and then video series, and she asked me to be one of the subjects, I was like, okay, let me think about it. I don't know how I feel about that. And I trust Jessica. I've known her since I moved to LA, and she was the producer of the first film that I got cast in when I moved to LA. I got cast in like one of the lead roles of a feature film.
Oh,
and
cool.
She was the producer on it. So we've grown together in
Right.
LA in our careers. And so I've known her for a long time. I trust her. I love her work. I love her work ethic. And we are also friends. And so I was like, well, that's a bonus point, obviously. Like that makes me actually consider this and not just completely like shut down and say no.
Right.
And then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, yeah, I do want to share what I go through, because as much as I post about it or tell people about it, I think it's still hard for people to wrap their heads around what that means on a day-to-day basis to deal with chronic pain and to deal with chronic illness, how it affects your day-to-day.
Yeah.
And funny enough, going into once I had decided, okay, yes, I'm going to do this, and Jessica like onboarded me and the other subjects, and then she said, okay, go forth, start recording your personal vlogs and documenting your life. I was like, okay, great, I'll do it. But just so you know, I haven't been flaring up as much lately, so it's going to be kind of boring. Like the next few months, I think it's going to be kind of boring. And then I had the most flary summer of all. And I just I had this wild episode of neck pain and upper
Mhm.
back pain where I literally could not hold my neck up straight without searing pain.
Yep.
And I had to, and on top of that, I got an audition for a lead role in an indie feature that was across town. I had to rent a car to get to it because I don't have a car right now. And that's all documented in this series. And I had to like put on a wig and do makeup, and I was like wincing in pain. It was like wild. It was just absolutely wild, and it all got documented in the series.
That's amazing that the way time worked to be able to tell that story, and also the fact that auditions are already stressful, especially when the more that's involved in the audition, just the higher the stress. And of course, with a flare-up, stress is not your good friend.
Yeah.
Before we go, I know that you are a masterful storyteller, especially in the realm of sci-fi. So I want to
Thank you.
of course. And I've worked with you on a couple projects as well, and it's always fun to see like someone so in love with NASA, for instance, be able to tell space stories. But I want to know, what would you tell the younger version of yourself? And as soon as she walks away, what does the older version of yourself, like maybe 10 or 15 years, come up to you to say?
I would tell the younger version of myself to not hide who you really are for the sake of anyone else. Just go for it. Be a nerd sooner. Like lean into your own interests always. And also just be compassionate, stay compassionate for other people, because you don't want to like silo yourself. You don't want to have tunnel vision, but you also do want to cultivate what is inside of you that you can share with the world. And then I think the older version of myself would specifically say to me, it's going to be okay. It's okay, Aliza, it's gonna be okay. Don't freak out. You're fine. You're doing great. And even better things will come. So don't worry.
Nice. Aliza, where can people find you? What projects can they follow? Let's hear the social media handles, and perhaps what TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game, you're working on at the moment.
Yeah, so I am at Aliza Pearl, and that's Aliza Pearl. The Z has kind of like an effervescent sound to it. Aliza Pearl. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I'm also Apiza Aliza on Twitch, and I occasionally stream, but follow me there and you'll get alerts when I stream. I'm also have a Saturday 12:30 Pacific time D&D campaign that I run called Lords of Faerun. We have a lot of dragons, so if you're into dragons, come check out our teenage angsty dragons that are the companions of the party. And I also have just joined the cast of a D&D 5e campaign called The Gax Pack, with my dear friend Jason Charles Miller, and Eric Campbell is playing in it, and B. Dave Walters is playing it, and the new friends Vivid Vivka and Adriana Casador, and is that everyone? Wait, I think that's the party. I hope I didn't forget that one last person. Sorry if I did. But yeah, the Gax Pack, that's on Gary Con Live Twitch channel, which is Luke Gygax, Gary Gygax's son, his Twitch channel. And we will start streaming again July 25th, Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific. Oh, I'm also doing a Dune Learn to Play through early August. If you're into Dune, definitely check this out, because we're learning how to play the game. We're building our house, building our characters, and then we're going to do like a 3-session campaign. And so that is on Tuesdays. We're streaming on Saving Throw Show, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Also run a monthly Klingon campaign called Blood of the Void, and that's the last Mondays of the month, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, over at Q Times on Twitch. Another game coming up, a mage game that I'm going to be playing in August. but I don't have all the info for that yet. But definitely follow me on social media because I tweet about all of the games that I'm playing.
There we go. Aliza, thank you so much for being here, and good luck on the summer ahead, and live long and prosper.
Thank you so much, CoRy. It's so good to see you and talk to you.
Good to see you too. Walls are kind of empty, but we can fix that with this. Hello. Nope, it's not gonna. Okay. Forgot how warm lights get. Okay. So I'm gonna look at the walls. Blank walls. I know. What? Shit doesn't even make any sense. Okay. It's time to upgrade these walls. No, we're not having any demolishing or fixing of walls or even painting walls. But earlier this year, for context, I opened up a store on Threadless. It's a design store. And I really got into local or small-time artists. I found one all the way from across the pond, and I am a huge fan of The Simpsons, and they are too. Their name is BenzieQueen, and they do commissions. So I have not opened this yet, and on the other side is my address, so let's not give out exactly where I live. Now I'm gonna open this, or attempt to open. God, maybe I should have had this open already. What they do is they paint scenes of Simpsons episodes. Okay. I have not looked at this yet. There's their name. Do you want to see it first? How about you see it first? So, what I told her is that obviously doing a talk show in lieu of big fan of Conan O'Brien, and there is one moment where Conan is a talk show host and Bart comes to be a guest on his show because he is the I didn't do it boy. So he says, I didn't do it. It's season 5. Conan wrote for season 4. He got nominated and won the Emmy for Best Writing on Marge versus the Monorail. It's one of his best known episodes. So I'm going to show you first, and then I'll see it afterwards. So there it is. I have no idea what it looks like. I haven't looked yet. So now I'm going to look. Oh my God. And this is going right there or there. I haven't decided yet. And I love that they do a little thank you card. So that's BenzieQueen. And she's always making stuff. Always making stuff. Only I may dance. I highly encourage you to check out their stuff. They are at BenzieQueen. A link will be in the description. And yeah. Thank you, BenzieQueen. Oh, hello. Well, that's it. It's just about almost time for me to take a nap before bed. But that is the first episode of From the Couch. Thank you so much, my special guest, Aliza Pearl. This one would not be possible without the help of some really awesome people in my life. And I want to give a special thank you to Alex and Arlo, who did the music, Leanna, who made my digital late night talk show set. Whew, that's a mouthful. And hopefully there's more videos. I'll be uploading twice a month, just because this show takes a lot to do. But like and subscribe, comment on what your favorite segments were, what else would you like to see. There'll be more sketches, more guests, if I got it in me, so time will tell. But until then, good night.